We all have a startup mode every time we get on with a video, isn't that right? So, the best thing I can do is to start myself up properly. Number one, today I saw the word ENG together. Now I'm looking straight at the computer and I see ENG again. This time I know what it is. It says English. ENG for English is 557. America is 557. The New World Coming is 556. One New World Order is 556, 556. The Hebrew New Year coming in is 5775. If we flip over time and go, time is on a cube. The cube is 21. We go 21 by 47, 21 by 47. Then we go 47 by 47. Then we go 33 by 47. Then we go 43 by 47. We end up with 5781. 57 is the one moon of Earth, which talks about only you and me. Why? Because 19, 19, 19, 1 and 9, 1 and 9, 1 and 9. The only 1 and 9 is in all three worlds is you and me. We are the one that makes 9, that makes 10. We are the jacks. We are the only one that come around creating jack. It's all in the football. It's all the sphere of your eye. Now I came on here to do this video for a reason and I forget. Oh yes, I remember. This is why I mentioned the video. I am so far behind right now. I have so many things to read and I still gotta paint. I'm not finished. I need to finish this whole thing by October. I want to celebrate this new world we're coming to in October. Who, you talking to me? Oh yeah, what? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, you wanted to know in October of what year? What should I tell him? Oh, I don't know. Any October will be fine. Is that a good answer? Oh, no. No, I just want to finish what it is. But this is what I'm reading, okay? It says somebody has already found there is artificial intelligence out there, okay? The two most fundamental elements of the whole design are the cube and the sphere of alpha, omega, and the cubit, okay? The cube and the sphere compromises the entirety of the fourth dimension and acts as an interface trinity and above all the materialized out of the 13th dimension and below as creation. Who is in the 13th dimension? It's alpha creation, number 31, of the one spirit of the 9 birth, makes 41. From go to go in Monopoly, we come into the electronic world of 5, which is the 6th position. 41 becomes 47. But we must come out, okay, in the Oriental. Isn't that funny? We have to come out in the Oriental. In the beginning of the Monopoly board, it mentions twice Asia, to my mind. Once in Baltic and one's in Oriental. Then, all of a sudden, they go all the way up to Vermont and Connecticut and the New England Patriots and sort of the area where the people from the Titanic seem to have been before they took their boat away from them. Not good to take away a boat and leave the people in the middle of the ocean, but that's what they did. What else do we have? Do we have States Avenue? We have Virginia, and then we have one of the royal families, which is in the corner. The royal family is in the corner of 12, is corner number 11, okay? They're corner number 11 until train number 16, okay? The royalty takes over that corner. They own, they're visiting next to jail, and they've taken over the train of liberty. Now, that's the corner coming out from Asia into Vermont. Then after Vermont, it's back to royalty again. Look at the color of the royalty at number 12 position, those 3 properties, and look at the color at Baltic, okay, and the Mediterranean, because it seems like that's who's controlling that area. But how often does England ever go down to Israel? Or is the real route to come all the way over here to the U.S. and send the U.S. to Israel? I mean, usually the owner really doesn't want to be found anyways at the end of this. Why do you think they took away Diane? Smashed her car up. They took her away. They took her away. They smashed her car up because she knew something. Poor accident. Just like Paul Walker. He knew what was going on next, but took his life away also. It's not hard. One at a time. Or many. Anyways, so now you end up going to Orange. Now, everybody knows you go to Orange after Pennsylvania, okay? But you have not created your color yet in Orange because as far as I remember, it's Tennessee Orange, New York Orange, and I don't think it's states, but I don't remember which one it is in Orange, but it doesn't matter because right around that corner is red and then yellow. So you're orange to start life, but then they recreate your color after you pass free parking. Now that would be number 19 would be on the dice, okay? 19 and 21 would be on the dice, but it would be the 20th and 22nd property position that you would be at. But not only the 20th property position, but this is a little bit different. On the second corner is the way I'm going to count it. No, I'm going to count it on all three corners. All three of the first corners are not what you think it is. Okay? And I'm going to explain to you why. Go has 4 positions. Okay? If you use the triangle from this and go in and out, Go has 4 position, and the first 9 properties have 18. Okay? 4 and 18 is 22. You jump into visiting jail to 26, and then you have 18 more properties. 36, you're at number 44. So then when you go down to New York, you're at number 44. Again, Barack Obama. And if you go to free parking, you got 48. And that means space and the entry and Barack Obama, because 4 times 8, 4 plus 8. And again, we're talking about April Fools, and we're talking about Augustine. Okay, so watch out for what they say about Georgia now. Georgia just won $1 billion ticket. Okay, something's going on here again. So now we get all the way down to the corner. You've taken up 18 and 18, I and I. How? Because each property has a value of 2 squares. That's the way I do it. It has to be my formation. Somebody can change it if they feel right. 4 in a corner, and then 2 for every property. 18 and 18 is 36. Then we use the 3 corners. 4, 8, and 12 is 48. Then we go to Kentucky. It makes it number 50. Once you hit Kentucky, you've hit number 50. Now the question is 50 in the center? Doesn't matter. We just hit the 50 stars by going to Kentucky, where all the racehorses are coming out. So now I'm definitely sure about this. Heads and tails connects Barack Obama to the Queen. It also says that he is definitely, if I follow the world of those who are talking about reptilians, he is definitely a reptilian. The other day I saw his whole head over here was blue and green. And at the same time, when you get to Kentucky, Rand Paul is in Kentucky. They couldn't even get Ron Paul anywhere. You hear more about Rand Paul, you heard more about Rand Paul than any Ron Paul anywhere. And then Ron Paulson in Fight Club, and then Paul Walker that gets killed on the weekend. Now, if you don't tell me that's not all a big connection. I feel like I'm floating. Whoa, baby! I feel like I'm floating. How much is a thing like this? $4.99. Oh, I can get one of these a week for sure. Where else was I with this? I'm thinking. I'm not really sure, so we're going to end the video like this. No, we're going to go back to read a little bit more. The cube and the sphere project. Okay, the cube and the sphere. So what it would be is that since everybody knows it's a perfect spiral, you take the cube, okay, you put it inside the center, and you put a pigskin over it. Put 2 points, a pyramid at one side of it, pyramid at the other end, Rubik's Cube in the center, or maybe 2 of them in the center, and then throw the ball. Let's call it football. And it's the 48th Super Bowl this year. And I know every year something, if you noticed in the last couple of years or 5 years, something stupid or wrong has gone at the Super Bowl. They always had something to talk about. Well, maybe this year it's going to happen somewhere but somewhere else. But there's been always something stupid. Don't forget, it can be like nothing. A road can fall in, a bridge can fall down. Imagine this. If it really gets cold and the bridges crack and all of a sudden every single city in the U.S., North America, has now spread apart. It's just spread apart and all the bridges fell down. This is one thing I want to show you. You have two things. How can this world come in? This one is folded on this side. See the way this one is folded this way? This one is folded on this side. They never touch. So the electric magnetics will keep them together. Another thing I want to show you. Here's a ring. If you put a flat ring on the inside that's a little turned, twisted, like an S, it can lean up against the side on each side because one is pulling from this side, one is pulling from the other side. So all these links can twist together and make it this thick. If I unscrewed this, if you unscrewed it, when you unscrew a bottle cap goes higher and higher, same thing. Let me go to one more piece of this piece that I was reading. If you look again at figure 77, you will see that it's composed entirely of various upon various qubits, the variations of the reflections, specifically different frequencies according to the rule by rule difference in frequencies that compromise the differing aspects of the creation. By this simple principle, the intelligent design is capable of blueprinting all of creation in all aspects. The current creation is over 900 trillion light years across and still within its fantasy. Now, I'm not really sure what that means, but can I tell you something? If there's a machine that can duplicate everything, it's just like going to McDonald's or Tim Hortons. By the time you make your order and get to the window, the guy already behind you has told them what he wanted. There's usually 3 cars behind when you speak. If they want, they'll push you back 4 cars. So everybody will always be waiting 4 cars, but they'll never fall behind. They never fall behind in everything. But everybody knows that if you're not fast enough, a lot of people stop. Of course, it's going to take a long time for them. But for you, you're just serving the next customer. Yeah, so this thing of the Rubik's Cube, amen, it's one, we're in a game, but it's not a game. We're in a game, but it's not a game. Colors mean things, horses, you touch something, somebody says something weird. The minute you say, hey, maybe this is part of it, then it becomes it. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for letting me go down one more valley. The word I am is 9113. The total value for the word I am is 9. But because it's 9, 9 is also 1. Did I explain why 9 was 1? Because 9 into the 10 world, it's 1. 9 into the 13 world, it's 4. 9 into the 7 world is 7. My other thing was, how do you get 9 into the... why do we end up with 14 on the Mayans? We end up with 14 because it's 3 numbers. We end up where we are on this planet with the 2 numbers that we are, and then we get the 1 spirit, okay, well, 1 or 5, whichever one you want to speak of, from the Mayans. The Mayans right away, the minimum that you get is 1. You just need 1 and the electronics. You need the spirit and the electronics. You need a receiver, and you got to receive. And that's the receiver you need. So it's got to be between the numbers. It could be over his head. It doesn't matter. As long as he can stretch out to get it. Do you understand? Football verbally explains how the matrix and your antennas with the Mayans can connect to the other worlds in order to survive and have sense in this world. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Thank you.